All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. And boy, do I got a good one for you today. So we've tested lots of plates out in the past, and I got some more for you today. So today we'll be testing out 4 new build plates that I got for the Bambu X1 carbon, as well as we'll be doing the same tests on the cool plate, Bambu's dual-sided texture plate, and the Wham Bam plate that I've reviewed in the past. So sit back and relax, and I'll get everything set up.
Len Dizzle Production.
All right, so let me show you what I got. So the first thing that I did is went to AliExpress and looked for a couple of different build plates that they had offered for the Bambu X1. There's a couple of cheaper ones, a mid-range price one here. And there's this one by Super 3D Technology, an Idea Former, and then this one from the 3D XYZ store. Let me tell you, these two were identical. I can't get to this page anymore, but I can get to this page, and I'll show you now. But it was identical as the other one. Same packaging, they used the same tape, that came at the same time. Everything was the same. They were exact same. I can't tell a difference between them. You can even see that this one's now only $16.06. Took about 3 weeks for me to get it here in the US, and both of them came at the same time. The third one that I got from AliExpress was this one from the 3D XYZ store, this Uni XYZ. It does come in gold and black. I got black since the other two were in the gold plate or gold color. And you can see it's even a little bit cheaper on that one as well at $28. So those are the 3 of the ones that I got. And let me show you the other one. All right, the last one that I got is the Bassin 3D PEI dual-sided smooth and textured magnetic plate. And I got this from suppressortools.com here in the US, but I did see this. I didn't see it when I was originally ordering plates for this test, but I did see some in there today that are identical to this one, so I'm sure you can find different brands of this one. You don't have to necessarily come here for it. But it was $45, a little bit more expensive than the PEI plate. But the benefit of this one is it is dual-sided with the smooth and a textured plate. So we'll see how that fares out in the test. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into the testing is something that I noticed after my last update to the PEI plate test. So I wanted to come in here and make sure that I had everything correct and did everything by the recommendations, in which I did, except for under considerations at the very bottom here in the fine print. And the one that I think made a difference here is the automatic calibration for flow rate is not recommended. So this is your flow calibration whenever you hit print and it comes up, it has flow calibration on there. So on the cool plate, I went ahead and did the flow calibration on there, and that was the one that I started with. But after that, I turned the flow calibration off on all the PEI plates. And I got to say, this did make a difference. Before, when I did the bed leveling test, you saw 2 out of 4 were failing, and it was at a pretty significant rate. And it was random. You know, one would work, and the next one wouldn't, then 2 would work, and then 1 wouldn't, and 3 wouldn't work. Very, very random with that. I will say, turning the flow calibration off has had a pretty good effect to the positive. Most of these have not had an error on them when I've done the bed leveling tests or whatever, and I haven't had any failed prints. So if you are having an issue with your Bambu PEI textured plate, be sure that you're not using the flow calibration in the beginning. I have seen that have a positive effect on the prints. All right, so after the first test here, you know, none of these are really perfect, but they're all relatively the same, right? So there wasn't one plate that stood out over any of the other ones, right? And I did this first bed leveling test on all of them twice. Now, it all came out relatively the same, but I will call out a couple of things. The cool plate, it's tough to get stuff off, as we all know with the cool plate, but if you're having problems with stuff staying on the build surface, especially smaller stuff, that's generally the way to go because it does slide around a lot on the dual-sided surface. Couple of things that I did notice between all of them is this black one that I got from AliExpress. Things tend to stick on here a little bit better than they did on the other ones. So this might be an option. One of the cheaper ones of these. It doesn't seem like it is as less sticky as this. You can see this one's already kind of coming up and this one's still stuck on there. And I mean, it's generally pretty good on there. So we'll view that when we do the full sheet and see if that's an issue here later on. And then the Wham Bam, I didn't put the G code on this. I didn't use I do have a setting in there, but I did this the same. Okay, and then as we talked about before in the flow rate, I did try doing the flow rate calibration on the smooth one as well as on this one. I didn't see a noticeable difference using it or not using it. One of the things that I am wondering here, and I haven't done enough tests to probably prove this out, is if you do a flow calibration on like a cool plate, then switch over to one of these and don't use the flow calibration, if that might help with the results, especially in those larger prints, if this is something that you're using and you want that textured surface or whatever. So that's the results from the first bed leveling test. So let's jump back in the studio, get the second test ready, and we'll go ahead and run that one. All right, so let's take a look at the second bed leveling test. And here's the cool plate. As you can see, looks like it did in the other videos. I'll show you how hard it is to get this stuff off. Everything turned out fine on that one. As you can imagine, the PEI plate came right off. Now the AliExpress PEI plate, after it's cooled for a little while, as you remember the first one, it was a little tough to get off, but this one came right off. No defects. I'm telling you, the flow calibration, turn that off. It seems to make a big difference. On the gold one, same thing, comes right off. Let's clone, comes right off. This is the textured surface, comes right off. Right here, I'll play the video for the smooth side. All right, so this is the smooth side. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but we do have some errors in it. So no flow calibration on it. Do see some errors on it. I'll show you how hard it is to get off. As we can see there as well. And then here's the Wham Bam plate. One little thing right there. But I think that's totally acceptable. I don't think that's because of the plate at all. So that's how they all look. That's all of the different plates there. So what is the conclusion for today? Which plate am I going to go with in the future? I think for the majority of my builds from here on out, as far as PLA is concerned, I'm going to go between the cool plate, the Wham Bam, and probably one of these $18 jobs. I want to see what the long-term deal is with one of these $16, $18, whatever this thing costs. I want to see what the long-term is on this. I want to make some more of the honeycomb things, so I think I'll print them all on this and just see how it does with multiple prints. I'll try to send like 100 prints through it and give a long-term review on it. The other ones, I guess they would work too. This would probably be a good one. The one that has the dual texture on there. I saw a couple on AliExpress. I'm sure you can find them in different places, but this might be a good one to have as well since it has the texture as well as the smooth plate. On the smooth plate though, it is kind of hard to get stuff off as well, but we may see that one in rotation. But I think the majority of what I'm going to be doing from here on out is going to be on the Wham Bam as well as on the cool plate. So once again, thanks for watching today. Thanks for subscribing, and be sure to check out my merch store and like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, everybody.